Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Wood. Today we'll be learning all about water. But before we get into the facts, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to see if you can tell fact from fiction. Consider this. Some say that hot water will actually freeze faster than cold water. It seems like it flies in the face of everything we know about temperature, but could that be an actual fact? We'll find out at the end of the episode. Now for your word of the day. Our word for today is petrichor. P-E-T-R-I-C-H-O-R. Petrichor is the term for that wonderful earthy scent produced when rain falls on dry soil. You know that smell. It's that fresh, clean, slightly sweet aroma that fills the air after a summer shower, and for many people, it's one of the best smells in nature. The word was coined in 1964 by two Australian researchers, Isabel Joy Baer and Richard G. Thomas. They created it from two Greek words, petra, meaning stone, and ichor, which in Greek mythology was the ethereal golden fluid that was the blood of the gods. So petrichor literally means the blood of the stone. It's such a poetic way to describe how this beautiful scent seems to arise from the very earth itself when the first drops of rain arrive. Time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about water. Number 1. Nearly all of the Earth's water is salt water, with only a tiny fraction available for us to use. It's easy to think of Earth as a water-rich planet, and it is, but the kind of water we need to survive is surprisingly scarce. About 97.5% of all the water on Earth is salt water found in our oceans and seas. This means that only 2.5% of the planet's water is fresh water. That small percentage is all the water in the world's glaciers, ice caps, groundwaters, lakes, rivers, and atmosphere. Breaking it down even further, most of that fresh water isn't even accessible. Almost 70% of it is locked up in glaciers and ice caps, particularly in Antarctica and Greenland. And most of the remaining 30% is hidden away as groundwater. This leaves less than 1% of the world's fresh water readily available in lakes, rivers, and swamps for the billions of people, plants, and animals that depend on it every single day. Number 2. The water you drink today could be the same water a dinosaur drank millions of years ago. The Earth has been recycling the same water for billions of years through a process called the hydrologic cycle. This means that the total amount of water on our planet has remained virtually the same since the time of the dinosaurs and even before. Water evaporates from oceans and lakes, forms clouds, precipitates as rain or snow, and then flows back into rivers and oceans, starting the cycle all over again. No new water is being created. Because of this constant recycling, the water molecules in your glass have been on an incredible journey. They could have been part of a prehistoric ocean, frozen in a glacier during an ice age, or even sipped by a stegosaurus. It's a mind-boggling thought that connects us directly to the entire history of our planet, all through a simple glass of water. Number 3. A single large tree can release an astonishing 100 gallons of water into the air in one day. It's a process called transpiration, and it's essentially how trees sweat. Trees absorb water through their roots and transport it up through their trunks and branches to their leaves. The water is then released into the atmosphere as water vapor through tiny pores on the underside of the leaves called stomata. It's a crucial part of the water cycle. This incredible feat of natural engineering has a huge impact on the environment. The water vapor released by trees contributes to cloud formation and local humidity, which can affect weather patterns and lead to more rainfall. In large forests like the Amazon, so much water is transpired that the forest literally creates its own weather system, making trees vital players in regulating our planet's climate. Number 4. Water is one of the only substances on Earth that is less dense as a solid than it is as a liquid. Think about what happens when you put ice cubes in a drink. They float. This is unusual behavior for a substance. Most materials become more dense and sink when they solidify, but water does the opposite. As water cools down to about 39 degrees Fahrenheit or 4 degrees Celsius, it reaches its maximum density. But as it cools down further and freezes into ice, the water molecules arrange themselves into a rigid, open crystalline structure. This unique structure takes up more space than the molecules in liquid water, making ice about 9% less dense. This property is incredibly important for life on Earth. Because ice floats, it forms a layer on top of lakes and rivers in the winter, insulating the liquid water below. This prevents bodies of water from freezing solid from the bottom up, allowing fish and other aquatic life to survive through the cold winter months. And our fifth and final fun fact for today: the United States uses about 322 billion gallons of water per day. It's a staggering number, almost impossible to visualize. I mean, if you were to cover the entire state of Texas in that much water, it would be about 1.5 inches deep. The biggest use of this water is thermoelectric power generation, which accounts for about 40% of it. This is the water that's used to cool the massive generators that produce electricity. The second largest use is irrigation to grow our food. That consumes about 37% of the total. Public supply, which is the water that gets piped into our homes, schools, and businesses for drinking, cooking, and cleaning, that accounts for about 12%. And then there's industrial and mining uses to make up the rest. From power to produce, hygiene, and just a nice drink, water is a fundamental part of pretty much every aspect of our lives. Now for some news you can use. Today's tips are going to be about water conservation. It's easy to think that water is an infinite resource, but as we learned earlier, less than 1% of all the water on Earth is fresh and accessible for us to use. Conserving it is crucial because treating and delivering that water to our homes requires an immense amount of energy. In the United States, energy for water and wastewater systems accounts for about 3 to 4% of national electricity consumption, which contributes to greenhouse gas emissions. When we save water, we also save energy and protect our environment. The good news is that making a big difference can start small with simple actions in our own homes or yards. One fantastic strategy is installing an outdoor rain barrel. A rain barrel connects to your home's downspout and collects rainwater that would otherwise run off your roof and into storm drains. This collected water is naturally soft and free of chlorine, making it perfect for watering your garden. During a typical summer, a single rain barrel can save you over 1,000 gallons of tap water, reducing the strain on municipal supplies during peak demand. Inside your home, one of the biggest secret water wasters is silent leaks. A toilet that runs constantly, even quietly, can waste hundreds of gallons a day, and a faucet that drips just once per second can waste over 3,000 gallons per year. You can become a leak detective with just a few simple strategies. First, there's the toilet test. Place a few drops of food coloring in the toilet tank, wait about 15 minutes without flushing. If colors appear in the bowl, you have a leak, and it's usually easy to fix by just replacing the flapper. Second, you can use your home's water meter as a leak indicator. Turn off all the water in your house, then check the meter. If it's moving, you have a hidden leak in your plumbing. Finally, if you want to take your water conservation to the next level, think about putting a bucket in the shower. Now, hear me out on this. At first, I know it sounds a little crazy, but most of us will turn on the shower and wait a little while for the water to heat up before we get in. If you put a bucket in there when you're waiting for that water to heat up, instead of going down the drain, the bucket will collect all that water, and you can use that gray water for watering plants and other things in the house. By combining these strategies, catching rain, hunting for leaks, and saving in the shower, you can collectively make a huge impact, preserving our planet's most precious resource for generations to come. Now for the moment you've been waiting for. At the beginning of the show, I asked if hot water can actually freeze faster than cold water. I know, it sounds like a myth, but scientists say it's a fact. The phenomenon is known as the Mpemba effect, named after a Tanzanian student who made some interesting observations in the 1960s. He found that hot ice cream mix froze faster than cold mix. While this effect was first observed in water and ice cream, the Mpemba effect has since been studied in other compounds, including gases and even complex quantum systems. While scientists are still debating the exact combinations of reasons why it might work, the leading theories suggest it's due to factors like faster evaporation, differences in dissolved gases, and how water circulates as it cools. Just goes to show that even the stuff that seems the most basic can still surprise you. Now, I hope you enjoyed learning a bit about water with me today. Be sure to tune in every weekday for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.